into this matchup. Graves has a dash, Graves has an ultimate that can also be used as a backwards dash to like leap away from the Tryndamere. He also a lot of the times has to go flash and ghost to match the summoners for Tryndamere. And I find the Karma, specifically after 6, very volatile to die into the Tryndamere lane. And if you die once versus Tryndamere, the snowball effect occurs and you just keep on dying and dying and dying. Now, this is not even the biggest of their problems, because let's play into a scenario where Kex never dies. Kex wants to group. Kex is playing Karma right here, so he can start shielding the Aphelios, shielding the Hecarim going in, providing that extra support and utility that you expect from a Karma into your team. Who stops Kryze on a side lane? I reply to you, nobody. Slowk, you can't go there with Ahri. Tryndamere will dive, he will kill you, you're super squishy. All you can do is shove in the wave really quickly with Ahri and maybe try to join again together with a teleport. The thing that's very concerning though is, again, Tryndamere is a champion that plays Flash Ghost. He can even run you down level 1.
Yeah, it's really scary because obviously, for anyone who doesn't know what Tryndamere does, his passive is the more he auto-attacks, builds up the Fury, Helicopter. He has Spin, he has more crit, and he has Ouch, that hurt at level 1.
And Katarina Spin?
Yeah, true.
She don't win though.
No.
No.
Tryndamere, especially in this lane, yes.
Tryndamere tends to win.
I think if I had the option of Katarina or Tryndamere into Karma, I'd take Tryndamere every time.
Hey, it's not the worst matchup for Katarina either, okay? It's one of the ones that you at least don't die to.
That's a low bar. But this is one where, as we expected, Kryze does get a couple of lucky crits off. He actually didn't. So Kex actually able to trade back quite nicely.
See,
has that Grasp the Undying.
I can't feel compassion for that. The unlucky he didn't get the crits, level 1. I just cannot feel the compassion of, ah.
Well, you know.
A shame.
If you get like 1 or 2 crits in the auto attack trade here, that's a kill.
This is especially why you want to play with Ghost against these very squishy top laners, right? Because even level 1, if you hit a bunch of lucky crits, like you mentioned, you can actually run them down with Ghost and force a flash. And once the flash has been forced, you have your own flash to all in yet again. So Kex needs to play this lane completely neutral, needs to make sure that he will always have the W available and even Mantra W available for that extra heal, and then the root to try and stay away and also keep Tryndamere at arm's length.
This is actually what Initialize hit on the desk. He said, you know, you got to be on it with the W, because if you don't play this W right, this lane can be really, really rough. Is he on the chain actually here?
I'm also loving the fact that it's a Grasp Karma, so Kex is throwing in the auto attacks until he has the heal to try and sustain back up.
I like this actually. I mean, this was something Jamada hit on as well on the desk was, you know, Unsealed Spellbook or Grasp is kind of what they were expecting. This is, you know, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to try and fight you as much as possible. And Kryze is actually getting mega bullied here, although this lane's fairly long. So if Kryze gets angry, which he doesn't, could look to chase into him, but I think the wave's too big.
It is fairly long, but this is 1.5 waves that has been stuck down. MC is on the Hecarim. Kryze does have, of course, Ghost and Flash available, but he needs to respect the fact that he has seen the Hecarim top side of the map. And it's not necessarily that you want to dive and kill the Tryndamere, it's the fact that you want to set him behind so he can't dive you. And keeping him deprived off of gold, experience, and minions does that.
They're going to flash forward. Nukes is going to get locked in place with the Spectral Maw. The arrow comes down from Zamulek. Not enough to find the kill. Nukes has to flash out of that one.
Very, very good management on the weapons right there. He has the Gravitum ready. He roots he slows his opponents, and he allows Nukes to flash away in safety. So all in all, Riddle is doing fine. Yes, they've lost one summoner down the bot lane, but so have the side of XL. Look at that though. Dan has made the whole way around. He is going to be spotted yet again onto that ward, and due to the Riddle bot lane wave pushing to excel, Nukes and Fattison are now themselves being deprived of XP and gold.
If that ward wasn't there, that would have been the most big brain route there by Dan. Unfortunately for him, the Shroud ran out in time and was able to be spotted out. You can see that Kryze has actually done a pretty good job catching up on the farm in the top lane after losing a fair amount. Was able to head back to lane and to start picking up this farm. But now we're seeing Riddle actually having a pretty solid shove into JDXL, and Slowq has run down here to try and help as this wave has collapsed in. And that's just going to be the cannon wave given up. And Zamulek in for a whole world of hurt. Maybe it's Kikis actually, as they're looking to turn it around. Looking for the tether. The charm's going to connect. The gravitum's on. They've got everything necessary. But Nukes will go down in a 1-for-1.
I don't agree with the fact that Nukes is the one that starts the tower dive because he is literally the only member without the flash available.
Yeah.
So you are most likely to trade 1-for-1, especially since Kikis also gets his level 4, so his anchor hurts a little bit more. So here you see Kikis stays underneath the tower, gets the level 4, your anchor hurts more. So once he gets stunned, Nukes puts the Zenith plate so he can land on the other side and run away from the tower. But I feel like Kikis played this so well to keep the anchor and pull him back so they can trade 1-for-1. XL are really, really good at playing tower dives in a disadvantage, and it shows again.
A bit of damage there from M&S. Kikis actually has made his way over. Going to reset on the chicken camp.
Do you remember game 1 actually started with a very not successful dive from the side of Riddle?
Oh! Dan just completely disrespecting the Orb of Deception as Kikis has to hook onto the wall to get away. MNES doesn't have Shockwave. Kikis doesn't have Flash. He's bringing in the backup. Those Zamulek's trying to get out. They find the hook, and they've got the slow to work with. Maybe they're looking for the turnaround. They find the Zenith Blade onto Zamulek. Kikis is rooting people in place, but now Zamulek is going to go down. He's going to die. Riddle just find themselves 3 kills for free as they get the Shockwave slow Q. The Flash from MNES over the chains. Oh, that is beautiful.
And if you thought that the M&S was not going to get a solo bolo on the Orianna, you're damn wrong. You guessed wrong. Yes, he got put down very early in the previous game, but right now he managed to get the solo bolo. I don't know if he's going to survive this ambush, though.
I think he might be in for a whole world of trouble. Able to dodge away on a fair amount there. They don't actually have the solar Blair. I can't even say the name. It doesn't matter. He's dead. I spent that entire time trying to say Flare.
Okay, all in all, this is a great trade, obviously, for the set of Riddle. They managed to find the 2 kills. Hecarim and Leona are a very deadly duo due to the fact that the passive from Leona does extra damage when you hit the target as well. Plus, Leona does a lot of base damage in general with her entire kit, and she really does hurt. And of course, Hecarim hurts as well. The fact that this Hecarim is getting ahead in this fight, it is so in this game, it's so crucial because he's going to get beefy. Saying that, I might have sneak peeked the Sheen in his build, but right here, Dan obviously overextends, gets hit by the CC right there, and then XL are gonna get run over. Kikis tries to run back to his ADC, but his ADC does not have flash available to him. And again, Leona together with Hecarim do hurt a lot. You see that damage. He has to push Cleanse right there from the sort of Zamulek, and he's still not going to survive. Back into the mid lane, MNS with one more solo bolo. Slow Q obviously not respecting the mana bar of MNS right there, and MNS managed to get the kill. In return, fast forward a few seconds, even after that, MNS ends up going down to MC. Again, back to what I was saying. This is not going to be a tank Hecarim. I'm not sure I agree with that, because you are together with the Leona, the 2 members that are going to be diving forward, and there is a bunch of damage on the side of XL. You've got the Tryndamere, especially when he goes into the ultimate and you can't kill him. He's able to put down a lot of damage. Viego, that loves champions dying towards him. And the problem is once you dive towards him, if you're too squishy and he takes your form, then he can run down your team in return. And then you've got Orianna and Varus, who are very your base heavy carries in the team. So not sure if that's a Trinity Force or a Sandra, but I felt like a chem tank could be the solution to a lot of your problems.
Well, if we actually just kind of zoom back and take a look at this game, we can see for Riddle, they've got the gold lead. They're pretty happily in control right now. They are now finally looking for that kill onto Kex. Kryze trying to see if he can find the tether, but it's going to be Dan. So Kryze can run him down, has the ultimate necessary if he needs to pop it. He's going to have to pop it. The flash comes out. Kryze should not live. He just about makes it. That was way too close.
Oh, Kex played this so well. Oh, there's more.
My word, there's chains. Nukes is flashing, able to dodge away. That was a very, very close top lane play. And now it's just constant action. The Shockwave does land onto Slowcube. It doesn't hit onto MC. So they find a kill. This just like,
there was action. There was action top lane, action mid lane, action bot lane. What happened at the end is that Riddle and XL trade 1-for-1. The top lane for the mid lane. Again, Kex. I felt for the lack of his flash, he played this to perfection. Mantra W, he dodges the stun from the Viego. Mantra W to get some more HP onto him. And obviously there is no grievous wounds on the set of XL to minimize the healing coming from the Mantra W from Kex. And then he uses his grasp last minute to take that last minute heal from the ult attack to survive. Well played, obviously, by Kryze as well to survive that tower dive and get one kill for himself. And this is where the snowball, the domino effect might occur. Because again, once the Tryndamere starts getting kills, starts getting CS and farm, and he gets that Gale Force, it's that much easier to get on you, and he won't necessarily need too much help from others. Now, I wonder if this is going to be a Karma where she actually goes towards a Moonstone and then goes straight into something like a Frozen Heart. And she is basically the one slowing down the Viegos and the Tryndameres, running into the fight, trying to reach the backline.
Well, Kex now starting to feel a little bit of hurt, although he's able to actually trade fairly effectively there versus Kryze. Kryze hasn't got his Mythic finished up.
I was wondering if Kex was going for a max W right there after Q, but it's actually going to be the seal. So Mantra W is working wonders even with 1 point into it, and you can see how Grasp has helped him a lot in these trades. So every time Kryze dashes forward, he RWs to get extra health back, then procs the Grasp as well for the extra healing, pops the shield, and then the trade ends up being quite equal.
This lane is going way better for Kex than I expected it to. Considering that, you know, he did have that one death, but he's handling this lane very, very well. The sustain from Grass, the sustain from W, timing it very well, and it's actually making Kryze's life very hard. But Fatikan needs to be careful, able to flash away from the hook, finds the Graviton onto Kikis, but I don't think they're going to go any further.
MC very well read onto that gank. Fatichan, though, oversteps and loses his flash, which is very crucial, especially when you want to be pushing your lane and choking down that Varus. So they also know that MC is there right now because they did spot him. There was a ward right behind him in the third bush down the bot lane. So JDXL can keep MC there the entire time, waste his time, whilst Dan is trying to catch up on a lot of gold because he's falling behind farm-wise. He's also falling behind gank-wise. MC has been the main moving factor on the side of Riddle, finding the openings, finding the kills, finding the ganks.
Yeah, he'd say he's the main character of this story. As Kryze able to take a plate, jumping away, but will eat that tether, and Kex actually just continuing to trade into him. More and more Grasp with the Undying stacks for Kex. I'm curious how many he's had this game, actually. Bandleblast Mirror and Kindle Gem. So
it's going to be the Moonstone.
It is the Moonstone build, okay.
Either the Moonstone, or you could potentially also go for... I forgot the name.
Which one?
The Surelius, thank you. There you go. My brain actually woke up. You could actually go for the Surelius because it really does benefit. Leona running in, Hecarim running in together with the shields as well. You give extra movement speed. You can land your charms. You can save the affiliates for very sticky situations if you have the extra movement speed from it as well. I think they're both pretty useful in the team. One for the heals and the extra shielding, and the other one for the extra speed.
Ooh. Riddle. Like he needs to be a little careful as that Fox firing Kryze. Going to be able to take the first tower of this game with plates as well, making sure as much as the wave dies out as possible, just to deny as much gold as possible. As charge comes out from the Rift Herald, so yes, they use their Rift Herald and they do get themselves tower with plates, but it comes at the cost of losing first tower blood topside.
My question remains, who's going to stop the Tryndamere? Who is going to stop the Tryndamere? Because I'm looking at the map right now and I'm like, unless Hecarim gets up there together with Ahri, who are the only two champions who can actually keep up with the speed and the ghost and the Gale Force and the spin that he has and the flash that he has basically 4 ways of mobility that he can get away from. So unless it's an Ahri or a Hecarim that can catch up to you, it's very difficult. But then that's 2 of the main components of damage and engage that you're missing from another fight on the other side of the map. And we very well know that when somebody's keeping members occupied for Excel on one side of the map, something's happening on the other.
Yeah, I think this has been a very, very active series so far. Now, just to keep you up to date while we're back on our faces, one of the players is experiencing high ping right now, so we're just going to get that ironed out and then we'll get back into the game as quick as possible. But
so, top lane.
Top lane.
Ouch indeed.
Ouch, but not as ouchy as I thought.
Okay, so not ouch from the fact that Kex has died, but we did mention if Kex does not die, who matches the Tryndamere, and this has been a problem so far. The fact that 12 minutes into the game, he hasn't received any attention. There was only one gank from Dan that resulted in that 1 kill, but he's taken every single tower plating without the Rift Herald and the tower, the first tower prior to 14 minutes. It is huge. It tells a lot about the champion. It tells a lot about the strength that he has right now and how difficult it will be to stop him. You want to try and fight him, then XL is going to take Dragon on the other side and towers.
They bought themselves time by not, hardcore losing top lane, But like you are right. There is a problem where there will be a point in this game
where you're going to hardcore lose top lane.
is going to be a real problem. And if they leave it unchecked, it's just going to take your base. So it's on them to figure out that. But on the rest of the map, that's where we need to pay attention, because you're stemming the bleeding, but what are you gaining? They've gained themselves, I believe, 2 dragons, if I'm right at the moment, maybe 1. I actually didn't check before we went into the break. They've taken the bot lane tower, they've taken a herald. So it's not like they're not doing anything. It's if you're stemming the bleeding, you've got to make sure that you're causing problems elsewhere, so that Tryndamere can't be a problem in the side lanes. And at the moment, I think they're doing an okay job of it. It's definitely not as fast-paced as Game 2, but Riddle definitely are finding fights on their terms, which I think was the big problem between this and Game 1. Game 1, they were looking for fights, and XL just walked away. They weren't giving it to them. But this time, Riddle are able to force them. Maybe not as much as they were in Game 2, but they are still being able to force them. So
Tryndamere is going to be a problem on the side then, you say?
Yeah.
Let me raise you my NLC reverse card and talk about something very controversial. I think that Tryndamere is a huge weapon in team fights.
Yeah, I think
because
that's
even
fair.
though he might not end up getting a kill, he usually zones 2 to 3 members, one of them being the AD carry.
Yeah.
And especially here that you have Aphelios, very immobile, very reliant on his surroundings to keep him safe, especially if you don't have something like the Gravitum to root him in place. So if that is 2 to 3 members be zoned away by a Tryndamere, that means that it's 2 versus 4 in favor of XL. And this is why I like a very fed Tryndamere.
Yeah.
He can cause chaos in a team fight as well as a side lane.
Yes, absolutely. But I want to raise my Uno reverse card on this one. He can zone people away, but again, he is jumping into the middle of a Leona, a Karma. You know, Fatikan has the Gale Force. You got an Ari with the dashes. So I do feel that Riddle have equipped himself with tools to be able to deal with him when he jumps in and kite backwards if he does go over too deep into them. But it is going to be a problem, and it is something they do need to be on, because I think
That's
if
the
Riddle...
second dragon you're talking about?
There it is. I was talking from the future, obviously.
You're clairvoyant.
Yes, of course. And it's an Infernal Dragon. I'm not even looking, but it's definitely an Infernal Dragon. Oh, look at that. It's an Infernal Dragon.
You were looking.
I wasn't. I had my eyes closed.
Wow.
I haven't actually opened my eyes all day. They've been closed. I'm still
Wow, and you're
asleep.
casting that well with your eyes closed?
Yeah, I'm sleepwalking. I'm actually better asleep than I am awake, apparently. It's our second Infernal, actually, of this series, and both times, XL have had the Varus, a champion who absolutely adores the Infernal Soul, but hasn't actually been able to get his hands on it.
So here's what I've been wanting to see. How does slow Q's Ari match into the Tryndamere? Because we mentioned it from the start, if anyone is going to match up against the Tryndamere is the Ari, due to the fact that she has sort of fast wave clay. If she has what Nemera really loves, which is the Luden's Echo for a little bit more pop. MC sees the chance right there, done a little bit extended to Shadow Cries, of course, crashing in that wave. But I just really like the fact that they put in Ari on the side, because if Tryndamere dashes forward, you've got the Everfrost, you've got the Taunt, you've got the dashes, you've got ways to deal with the Tryndamere.
They found a lot of CC onto Kikis, and the damage is actually just about coming. Fatikan with the Gale Force and an auto, finishing that kill up. Nothing really to gain off that, but it was a nice little kill. A little bit more gold added into the pocket of your AD carry. Cries recognizing now that there is the 2 CC bots on that side of the map, and one of the best ways to handle Tryndamere is to crowd control him, so he's just going to spin away to safety. As looks like the attention's shifting upwards towards this Rift Herald.
Again, I think Riddle have come a long way from game 1, where they didn't understand how to play the map, to actually creating rotations that will cause them a little bit of comfort. Talking about comfort, that's
got the flash, flashes towards the team, the Heartbreaker lands in, they jumped onto MNES, and now MNES is going to get run down by MC. Lands the Shockwave, and MC has nowhere to go. Tethered up, charging forward, MNES flashes over the wall. Dan flashes back in return as well. JDXL, they have to just burn everything to get out of that.
Okay, so I was talking about good assignments, about good macro, and then Kex has to go and prove that I actually can cast the curse by face-shaking that top Tribus and getting absolutely demolished by MNS and Dan. All in all, though, again, the trade turns to the side of Riddle. They're going to grab that Rift Herald and they're gonna lose a tower for it. But what Rift Herald does give you in return is tower control, since this is what you're taking it down for. With Fadichan pushed in that top lane wave, they could very well try to transition at either tops of the map and give more money to Fadichan, or hold on to that Herald until it's very close to that Infernal Dragon, pop it mid, have some pressure there, and then move down the river, which is something that Riddle forgot to do in game 1.
Oh my word, Slowkey does do a lot of damage. Has got the Everfrost build here. I prefer the Ludens, but I think in this game, I actually respect
Just
the Everfrost, just because you are playing probably versus Cry's
against the Tryndamere, yes.
Yeah, so you can lock him in place and kind of just stop him from ever like actually finding that kill pressure onto you. I respect it in this game because of that.
Again, their macro and lane assignments has come a long way from game one. It felt like the game one was sort of like a warm-up for them to see how XL want to play the map and how they can figure out how to match them. And so far, I feel like Riddle have been matching them pretty well. And honestly, not having the Ari there is not the end of the world, because guess what? Your Aphelios is 2-0, very close to a second item. Your Hecarim is ultra fed, has got the Sunderer down 3-0 and 3, and then you've got the Karma for some extra AP damage added there, the shields, the heals, and also the Leona for all the peeling and stuff. Obviously, Fadichan is still playing the game.
That was from the pause. Catching up on ourselves. All right, so let's talk about this game because both teams are very close.
That's what I've been doing so far, Hiprin. We've been talking about this game.
Yeah, but let's continue.
Let's talk some more. Let's start talking so the action starts, because
yes,
this is usually what
that's
happens.
how it works.
Yeah. So,
what do you want to talk about?
50 seconds before the Dragon, I'm expecting MC to run it down mid lane, pop down the Rift Herald on the next wave, which is going to be a cannon, get the attention of XL on the mid side of on the mid lane of the map, and then move the pressure into the bot side where the Dragon is. You mentioned it yourself, it's going to be an Infernal Dragon, so you definitely need to start stacking them because Infernal Soul is going to be huge. Ooh, the Everfrost missing there.
Flash out by Kikis to make sure that he's not going to get caught out. And the wave's actually trimmed before they can even place that Rift Herald down, so are going to hold it for maybe one more wave before they decide to place it. We've got a bit of time, and Slowcute actually did burn the Spirit Rush there, so that's pretty big. Does use it to reposition as Nukes loses a massive chunk of health. Here's the Rift Herald into the Graviton onto 2. The Shockwave into 2 as well. Cry slides through. That's just going to be 2 kills. The Undying Rage is on, and Cry's is out. Rift Herald is stopped, and XL find 2 kills.
Oh, Riddle. We've come a long way to game 3, but this is Riddle from game 1. They're pushing into the mid lane with Slowcute not having his ultimate available. Fatichan way too overextended. All Cry's had to do was helicopter into this fight, dunk him once, and he was absolutely demolished.
I'm not sure what MNES is doing here.
He's dying.
Yeah.
What I can see.
Bit of a weird position for MNES.
It's worth.
Lose his life.
It's worth. They stopped the soul point. It's worth.
I think they had the soul point without MNES going top. I hate to dispute you on that, Trouble, but...
Damn. You got me.
No, they got MNES. Anyway, 20 minutes in. 1 Dragon for XL, 2 for Riddle, so a little bit of a way before we do see an Infernal Soul potentially come up. Well, the Rift Herald's now down, and Baron on the pit, on the map. Might be a little bit harder to actually see them turn into a Baron.
I think Riddle is again very scared of what monster this Tryndamere will be later on in the game. So they're trying to force their fights right now, but then when they tried to do this in game 1, they were forced into fights that were unfavorable to them, and at some point desperation started kicking in, and it's going to be the same thing here, because scaling into the late game, your only carries Fatichan, and he was taken out by 1 auto attack.
Yes.
Of the Tryndamere, which was very lucky, as you said, for it to be a crit, but it was a crit. And if that happens with more items that are crit-based, when he does have all the crit percentage that he needs to crit every single hit, your Aphelios is going to be in a lot of trouble. Talking about criticals and hits, 5 members of XL are going to be beating down on this Baron. Riddle is right there. This could be the fight they're looking for.
This could be a big solar flare into the charge, catching onto 2 carries. Cleanse gets used already. Riddle trying to find their opportunity to get in this pit. 2,000 health in. There's the Infernum. The damage is on. Slowcute flashes forward, locks 1 in place, gets the reset, gets the charm. Gonna get himself a double kill with the Foxfire as well. And XL are wiped. Dan charged onto, and he's taken down. It's only Cry's standing. Riddle come alive and take out 4. Can Cry's find more? He can't. Riddle absolutely walk over XL.
This XL composition loves people running at them. This is why you pick the Viego, because you want people to start engaging you. You've got the Shockwave, you've got everything you need. Fatichan, please do not die solo to the Baron, thank you very much. You've got everything you need for a team to dive you, and you kite backwards, peel, and survive. But right here, Riddle played this to perfection. The Solar Flare gets the cleanse from Zamulek, and once Zamulek's cleanse has been used, look how patient MC is with his ultimate. Beautiful Infernum ultimate right there from the Aphelios. And then when this is done and dusted, Slowcute dives in to kill secure some freebies, whilst MC is using finally his ultimate to take down Dan. And when an when a fight is already over and the Hecarim has not even used ultimate, you know you're screwed.
Yeah, that was super painful for XL. It was a bit of a greedy Baron, and it was greedy them to take a fight after getting poked out by the Baron. And they've paid the ultimate price for it. Wonderful flank by slowq to come in and be able to pick up those 2 kills, taking the 2 carries out of that fight, and that's only ulting onto nukes. And now with the Baron in pocket, Riddle can really put their foot down in this game and look to see what they can do. As Kryze going to try and find a kill onto Kex, charging forward. He's got Dan and will have those more charges up for himself. Does have the undying rage if necessary. He's going to have to go for it. Going to try and find himself a kill onto Kex. Kex flashes away and Kryze is just going to be caught on his lonesome. Ghost is used. Solar Flare flash goes down. Kryze pulling 4 members away, so but wasting a bit of the Baron time, I guess.
Oh, I think this actually worked into their advantage because it's meant to be Riddle taking towers, but JDXL are using the pressure that's generated on the both side of the map from Kryze to try and turn this around, but MC...
It's the chains coming out, they get the lockdown, they get all of the crowd control necessary as MC finds the kill. Kikis is going to go down as MC secures himself a double kill.
Hiprin, I don't believe what I'm seeing right here. Riddle is the last team that qualified the playoffs. The last team. XL finalists of EU Masters 2021 Spring, almost taking down K-Corp, the back-to-back EU Masters champions. This cannot be happening.
Oh, they find a shockwave. MS has to use the cleanse. Dan locks Kex in place. Dan's able to get away. But remember, we're in the loser bracket right now. If
one best off.
It's 1 best of and that's it. Your chance at EU Masters, there's not that many spots going. And it
the realization just hit me, you know, and I've got like
oh my god.
Okay, let's recompose ourselves.
Yes.
It's not a huge lead. It's only 3,500 gold lead on the side of Riddle.
But Riddle are good at working with these leads.
I will just say that
MC
has been playing his butt off
this
series. He has been the moving gear. We said it from the start. He knows exactly where to be, how to be from the early game, and how to convert these early game leads to late game leads. And honestly, Riddle have come a long way. Now he can try to dive in. Doesn't even have to. They can cut Samuel. He's on the side. It's a lone Varus on the side of the map.
He doesn't have flash, he only has cleanse as well. As they find the hook on to MC. MC jumps away for the moment, the depth charge is coming in, the arrow is gonna go down. They look for the chains go wide. Here comes slowq, assassinating down on the sideline, and Fatty Cannon jumps in. Caught out by the shockwave for the moment as Kick is trying to get a bit more bonus damage down. MC into the Baron, Kryze buying time for his team, gonna lose his life and lose the Baron. slowq finds the shutdown. Riddle are just taking team fight after team fight in this game.
Soul point, baby, and it's gonna be infernal. You can definitely tell that this is Riddle's game to lose. 4,000 gold in the lead right now for the 6th team. Last team of the playoffs, taking on to JDXL man-to-man. And again, MC, I think he overextended a little bit here, obviously, trying to find Dan. If you do find Dan right there, smite down, you can take Dragon. No 50-50s, no contention at all. MC, of course, very beefy boy. He has his Frozen Hat as well, cuts down the attack speed of his opponents, and it feels like JDXL are all over the place. They're splitting up. Their carries cannot move through the choke point because of the Aphelios and the Ahri. The Karma has proven to be so useful as well for this composition. The healing and shielding that's coming in from the Moonstone, from the shields that Karma provides herself is just so detrimental for XL.
I mean, also to kind of hit on, you know, the Karma, it's been doing amazing at actually stopping Kryze in these fights. He can't get onto the targets he wants to because he has to work his way through Leona, through the Karma. The shielding, the peeling, the tethers, the CC, it just makes Kryze's life impossible. He has a Gale Force, he has spins, he has the Navari Quick Blades, but even with all that cooldown reduction, he can't get on top of people, and it's really starting to be detrimental for Kryze here.
I just feel like at this point, you cannot match the damage that's coming out of Riddle. Because the Hecarim is ultra-fed, and his basic damage is going to be huge as well. Then you've got Ahri having 3 items at this point, and burning through shields due to the Shadow Flame as well. Orianna loves shielding. And on the other hand, you also have a shield from the Eclipse on Zamulek. So the second you pop in these shields, you get the maximum magic penetration, which means it's going to be hitting you that much harder. And the Qs from Karma as well are affected by that. And then you've got Aphelios, the 1v9 late game AD carry king that there is in the game together with Jinx. So I feel like XL are going to have to start playing the map a little bit more. Use your Tryndamere on the side lane. Try to get these dives. But then again, Riddle, so clever. They're always putting slow Q on the side where Kryze is. So diving the Ahri is just never a possibility because you can never catch up.
It's getting really, really hard here.
Instantly back, went on to the other side of the map completely, even though Baron is spawning for the set of XL. It's like, I'm going to throw my teammates right there and try to make a Hail Mary for the bot side of the map. But bot side of the map still has a tier 2 standing. So it wouldn't be worth it if you get a tier 2 for a Baron.
Also, keep in mind, oh, they find a hook onto Kex. He's going to eat the chains, he's going to eat all the damage. Zamulek finds him. Here comes Kryze. They've got the Graviton. They're trying to chase on for a little bit more. Chasing forward. Look at the damage. Kryze with the Undying Rage just needs the spin. The shockwaves are huge. And Kryze coming up here on the Tryndamere. Finds a double kill. JDXL find the picks that they need. The CC doesn't come through. And XL just turned a dire situation on its head.
They keep the game alive for them. Most importantly, we mentioned how Kryze found it really difficult in the side lane. Now with the Baroned up minions, now with the stacked wave of Baroned up minions, Slowq is not going to find it as easy to clear that one up. So they do get some side lane pressure. They can actually start pushing like this with Kryze onto one side and then the whole rest core of the full man that they have for XL on the other side of the map or even mid lane. They have to synchronize the waves, push them all at the same time. MC and Slowq always together on that. They could potentially catch Kryze right there, but they don't know where everyone else is. They do have now intel, but it's a little bit too late now that they see the two members. So
he's terrifying, by the way. He's got an Infinity Edge now.
very crucially, you see that the catch Kex. We said how problematic all this shielding and healing and peeling, you mentioned it, how problematic that was for XL. You take the shields and the peels away from the Aphelios, that's a 2-hit. Aphelios gone from the Tryndamere. 2 dunks, he's completely out. Kryze goes in, helicopters out, see you later. They get the Baron, and now they can start sieging.
Absolutely beautiful from Kryze there. And even more beautiful from Zamulek, able to find probably the most important person with his chains. He's got Flash, he's got Cleanse, he's got chains again. And XL trying to set some pressure up. They find themselves a hook onto Nukes. Not really the most ideal target, but find them inside a nice little hole here, a nice little choke point. This ultimate comes out from Slowq, does a lot of damage to the members of XL, but not enough to really make it stick, to make it scary. Another arrow comes out from Zamulek as well. Look at the damage he's doing with these. Nukes lose half his health.
XL is protecting the dragon. If the Infernal Dragon goes to Riddle, it's game over in the fights.
It is going to be, absolutely. They're charging in. They're trying to find onto MNES. MNES looking for the shockwave. Only hits onto one. Slowq trying to kill Zamulek, unable to do so. Kryze has the Undying Rage. The hook, the Zhonya's comes out as they're chasing for another kill. Here come Riddle. They're turning it around. 2 quick kills. Picked up the flash for the charm. Zamulek flashes out himself. Looks for an arrow. Does a bit of damage to Kex, but not enough to make it stick.
Smite
MC
down.
has got himself the smite. He's around. Dan not up with his smite. He's dead.
Soul.
XL is just going to have to give it up.
This is Infernal Soul on a team that's already winning the 5 versus 5 team fights.
Wait.
This is a dire situation for XL. XL are going to take mid lane tower with whatever is remaining from their Baron and bot lane tier 2. But right now, Infernal Soul. The second you walk up to Riddle, that is so much extra damage that you're going to be facing. And right there, Slowq missed most of his abilities, and they were still able to win this fight.
Yeah.
8-0 and 6. If there was a main character in the team, that's him.
Oh man, it feels like he's starting to hand over though to the rest of the team. You're seeing the damage come out from Vatican. Slowq got the Shadow Flame, the Everfrost, the Void Staff, and the Zhonya's. Like you said, missed most of the abilities. The Foxfire and Electrocute was enough just to absolutely chunk Zamulek out of the fight. Zamulek, though, something you don't really want to sneer at because has the setup with the Chains of Corruption and has some serious burst damage, but MC looking to run him down. He's jumping in. Zamulek is going to be blown up just like that. MC finds the pick, and now he's chasing onto Kikis. Kikis able to get away, but look on the bottom side of the map. Cries trying to push and trying to deal with the waves. They've still got him there, so he's able to clear through these waves very, very quickly. And
again, the second Fatichan gives the go button, he had the chakrams and he got the sniper, which means go, I can reach your range however much deep the Hecarim goes. That a fellas with the sniper and the chakrams can actually reach. And that was so beautiful to see. The second the weapons changed for Fatichan, the go button instantly happened. That is peak communication that's going on in Riddle right now, and they know that Tryndamere is behind them. They know. That's beautiful League of Legends, baby.
They knew he was there, but Kreis was waiting for a potential opportunity. He's just spinning around the map, trying to get as much pressure as possible. Level 18 Tryndamere. Highest level in the game, almost full build as well. Sitting on 2 components to finish up those final 2 items, but Kreis really feels like the one who will make the difference here for XL if they can find the win. But the 5-man death ball, the team fighting unit that Riddle have become in the second game, going into this third game, has been absolutely superb. They've been playing amazing in the fights, super crisp.
So, what do XL need to do to actually win this game? They need either Kreis on a side lane when there's no objective up and they can match the waves and they can try to use him as a pressure point and then take a tower on the other side of the map. The only problem is that the only outer tower that remains is in the lane that Kreis is pushing right now. So the rest of the map cannot push too far forward because there is no vision in Riddle's jungle, and Riddle are sneaking about trying to catch someone that oversteps inside the territory, because even though almost every outer tower is down, this is still their territory. This Hecarim is so deadly and so beefy that even if he face checks, there's no way he's gonna go down that quickly. Now the problem is, if Kreis is on his side lane, he doesn't have a TP. He has Flash and Ghost, which is created for him to run down opponents either in his lane or reach a backline in a team fight. You need him in a team fight.
Yeah.
The only team fight XL has won is when Kreis flashed into the backline, 2-hit Fatichan, and then helicoptered out. And you need this to be replicated in order for XL to win another fight and then possibly get the Baron that's spawning in 10 seconds.
And I think the big thing as well is there isn't a person who can take that third wave for XL. So it's a 4-1, and that means XL are basically constantly grouped in the mid lane, and then Kreis kind of just is either top or bot, which means it's very easy for Riddle to rotate. But XL have managed to push this wave in fairly deep and get themselves set up, although MC's looking for the charge, is going to go for it. Just gets a little bit of damage as he gets locked down by the chains, actually. They find a lot of damage. The Inferno comes out, the charge goes down. Dan uses the stopwatch. He's going to flash away from the charm. MC's bleeding out, but he's able to survive. Kick is also low. Hook lands onto Nukes. Not the target they need, but the shockwave is big. And Kreis, Gale forcing forward, chasing member after member. The Heartbreaker, the kills, the damage, the charm from Slowq. Zamulek will fall. They lose their AD carry, but they keep Kreis alive. And he's the one to do the damage to the structures. The tower will go down. The inhibitor will be next to fall. XL can't chase for more, though. They can only take that.
One overstep is all it takes for any team, and XL are going to pull the trigger and absolutely dismantle you. Kreis is so instrumental in these fights for XL, but he needs to have both of his summoners, and right now he does not, which is going to make it even more difficult to reach the backline later on when they fight for that Baron again. Riddle, very crucially, did not lose Hecarim and did not lose Slowq, which is 2 members that are complete nuisance to try and do Baron against. And again, MC goes a little bit too deep. You see that Fatichan cannot necessarily put down too much damage, and even though the Infernum hits, XL instantly split apart, so they don't get hit by too many of these AoE bullets. And then it's a back and forth constantly. Once Kreis does get on you, Flash, Ghost, running everyone down together with Dan right there. They love doing that, especially when you have Ghost onto the Tryndamere, dives into the backline. Everyone's trying to run away from you, but you actually can't. Again, very crucially, if Hecarim stays alive, it is so difficult to try and do any objectives because he has a very easy way in with the ultimate that's now really low cooldown, especially since he's level 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the Schroeder's Grudge as well, so those spins are actually going to slow you down now, which makes it even more fun to play into Tryndamere. Full build almost. Got just that Zeal item to finish up, which I assume is going to be a Phantom Dancer.
Very crucially, keep your eyes on Kreis. No Flash, no Ghost. How is he going to get onto Fatty-chan. They're going to have to pull a huge miracle. Kikis is going to have to somehow find the Aphelios.
They have got Shockwave on MNES. And grouped up right now, Riddle have to be very careful, pay a lot of respect towards that as Dan's just clearing out some of the vision. Nukes is actually taking a lot of poke from Zamulek. Zamulek really starting to do some work here on that Varus.
XL are gatekeeping the Elder Dragon, which is actually going down to Cries right now because he can actually solo it. They're gonna they have vision.
They're looking for Dan.
Oh, you need to go.
MC can't get close enough. Kikis is just zoning him away. He has the charge.
Okay.
This could be the game-winning smite. Here we go. Chains are on. Hook to follow. In comes the Moonlight Vigil. Slowq trying to get a bit of damage off, but MC needs to get over this wall. Has the charge still available, and I don't think he can do it. Riddle just have to give up the Elder to the side of JDXL. Baron is up as well. It's so hard for them to contest.
You just lose the Baron as well at this point because it's impossible. They fear Cries' Tryndamere at this point, plus MNS had a fantastic flank from the side, puts down the ball, no one can step over to try and put down any DPS, and this comes due to the lack of vision that Riddle have to respect. All their vision laid on the other side where the Baron was, and instead of actually handshaking the Baron for the Elder and defend their base as long as the Elder buff is active, they actually lose both.
That is so rough for Riddle. This game felt like it was there in their hands. Actually, you said about 20 minutes ago, it's theirs to lose. And just like that, XL went bet. Serpent Fang actually is a really big pickup here. Zamulek's 5th item is going to be that Serpent's Fang. Really effective into the amount of shielding that Riddle are going to be using. So I really like that pickup. And it is actually, sorry, it's the Lord Dominic's Regards, or Mortal Reminder, I can't remember which one's which. Mortal Reminder for Crysis' final item. So they got anti-heal, they got a bit of the shield busting, they got the Morello to do that as well.
They got Shadow Flame to provide more magic pen as well if somebody's shielded.
They have so much stuff to do with the shielding, actually.
This has become a game of who can keep focused the most, because it's been a game of back and forth from the very beginning. And the fact that you're picking a peel/kite composition from the set of XL is that you're expecting your opponents to make mistakes while engaging. And Riddle have made back-to-back mistakes, which have resulted in them being in this dire situation, having to defend against Baron and Elder on XL.
I really thought Infernal Dragon would be enough. Oof. A lot of damage from Fatty-chan, but a lot back in response. Crysis is keeping the mid-wave shoved as well to make sure that his team are able to use this Baron effectively. This tower getting shot after shot from these two cannons now. This will be the end of the bot lane tower. The inhibitor will be quick to follow, and XL might just be closing in on their final shove here. This could be game number 3. This could be match point over to JDXL. Riddle have everybody alive. They have all their ultimates. They almost have every summoner spell. If Fatty-can's flash comes up, it's now or never. It's do or die for the side of Riddle. They do not want to lose the momentum.
How long is the Elder up for? Because I think it just ran out. XL tried to make Riddle pull the trigger. Remember, they're playing a kiting composition. They love teams pulling the trigger and engaging them. But now MC can try to find a plan.
MC charges over everyone. Slowq jumps in. They get the charm. They get everything. The shockwave goes wide. Slowq finds the first kill of the fight, but Cries is able to spin out for the moment. They're trying to chase onto him for a little bit more. He gets another spice. No, he can't. MC finds the kill, and Slowq jumps in forward with the chance, with the Foxfire. Finds himself another kill. Doesn't reset on the Spirit Rush, and now is only 2 members of XL standing. Riddle have just wiped them. They're looking for it. They're going bot lane. We're going to have a base race on to decide this game. They've got a wave inside the base to work with as well. Riddle, they have so much ground to make. I don't think they can make it in time. They've had one back from Kex. The chains are almost back up for Zamulek. And now it's just going to be the reset from XL. A couple more seconds until members are starting to come up. 25 seconds on MNS. XL, they need to find this miracle win here. They need to find this miracle turnaround. Riddle just did it to them. There's the chains, just to lock down, just to slow, just to buy a bit more time. MNS in 12 seconds. The tower is going oh so low. They find the lockdown, they find the charm, they find the kill. Riddle, 41 minutes on the clock, are going to be able to take this game. Match point to Riddle.